So if you have a quadratic like this, it looks rather different. We have s squared take away 25. So we have a positive, we have 1s squared and we have a negative 25. And we could, if you understand how quadratics work, based on factorizing quadratics regularly, you'll recognize this as s squared plus 0 s's take away 25. All right, and if we were to do the grid for this, that means we have s squared here, negative 25 here, but it means that this diagonal, the number of s's that we have on that diagonal, is going to have to sum together to make 0 s's in total. So the number of s's in each of those is going to be plus or minus the same thing. Otherwise, we'll have a positive number of s's or a negative number of s's. So they have to cancel each other out. So we know we're going to have s here and s here. And the way we can have two numbers that are going to be the same thing is to do the square root of the number on the right-hand side. So the square root of the 25 is 5. So we're going to have 5 here and 5 here. So the key is we want them to cancel out. So s times 5 would be 5s, and s times 5 would be 5s. But we don't want 5s, and we want to have a negative 25 anyway. So one of these is going to have to be negative. That way, you've got s squared, you've got 0 s's from your diagonal, and you have minus 25. So what you end up with is s plus 5 times s minus 5. Now, this is called the difference of two squares, and that's because s squared is a square number and 25 is a square number, and we're finding the difference between the two, the difference of two squares. And you can see what this simplified to, what this factorized to, is we had s, which was the square root of s squared, and we had 5, which was the square root of 25. So we had s plus the square root of s squared plus the square root of 25, all multiplied by the square root of s squared minus the square root of 25. That's an interesting point to make. Generally, this is called, as the difference of two squares is, if we have a squared take away b squared, that will factorize to a plus b multiplied by a minus b. Generally, that's the general rule for this kind of thing. And it crops up quite a few times, and it's a useful thing to know.